Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, we went through the ice and the snow. It sounds like we went to Grandmom's house, but we went to Jen Sterling over here on Renard Court and Jen Sterling Art. Is that the full name of your business?
Yeah, just Jen Sterling Art.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
for my day-to-day.
well, I love artists, and you are the executive director of a nonprofit called Artist Open Studios.
Yes.
Singular Artist
Yes.
Open Studios.
Yes.
.org. No, .com.
.com.
And we wanted to talk certainly about your studio a little bit, which you've got it over here on Renard Court and the type of art that you do. But you guys have a big event coming up in April, right?
Yes. April 11th and 12th.
Okay. Well, before we get into that event, because that's a really cool event, and I jumped onto it last year and experienced it myself, and I want everybody to know about it. But tell me about your art. I mean, I walked in here, okay, you've got a mannequin sitting in a chair that will scare you if you're just catching it out of the corner of your eye.
He's security.
I mean, obviously, I say obviously because art is so many different things, but there's tons of paint and everything. But what type of an artist are you?
I am an abstract painter, and I paint in an expressionist way using a lot of bold colors. Very unapologetic about color use, actually.
I love big and bold.
Yeah.
I love big and bold. It makes a statement. And, one thing I love about art is that it just gets everybody talking.
Absolutely.
The problem I find here locally is, and I've gotten to the arguments of people saying, well, Annapolis area is not really a big artsy town. I'm like, oh, well, yes, I said, exactly. I was talking to Allison and Darren at Art Farm, and I said, people, just open your eyes and look around. I said, yes, if you're walking around with your face in your phone, no, you're right. The place sucks. It's not a good art town. Okay, if you put the damn phone in your pocket and purse and look around, it's absolutely everywhere out in public and private. I mean, there's so many different options.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to like it all. And I hope that you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it makes you talk, that's what it is. I mean, I've used this example for a number of times. I'm not a huge fan of Jeff Huntington's work on Front of Tsunami.
Yeah.
Of the artwork. I'm a huge fan of his work.
Absolutely.
But that particular piece, I don't care for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's probably plenty of yours that I don't also care for, but there's probably plenty that I do. But if you're talking about it and you're looking at it and you're making a determination, that's the beauty of art.
Oh, absolutely. Because you don't want it to be for everybody. It becomes a mass-produced product at that point.
Right. That's the Wyeth print with the lab sleeping on the bed that everybody has in their bedroom.
Exactly.
You can come here and visit Jen at
jensterling.com.
And that's one N.
That is one N.
You guys are all about the singular with Artist,
Yes.
Open Studio, and Jen with one N. jensterling.com.
You could spell it a couple different ways and probably still find it. So
let's talk about Artist Open Studios. And again, artistopenstudios.com. And I was sniffing around the website. It is a nonprofit organization.
Correct.
To, in the most basic sense, promote the arts and artists.
Yes.
But you also refer to it as a collective as well.
So there's two different sides to AOS.
Okay.
AOS being Artist Open Studios, the company, the organization, the nonprofit. We started to do with the studio tours. So our goal was to go across Maryland and expose visual artists to the public, because a lot of times it's very hard for artists to get out and get seen and get in front of potential buyers. And so creating this event gave all of these artists the opportunity to step out on their own and have their work seen. During the course of creating that event and running that event over the last couple of years, artists would say, oh, I wish I knew other artists around here, or, oh, I wish I knew where to go buy this kind of supply, or, oh, I wish I knew who could help me, hang these in my client's house. And so we created The Collective, which is an online community for Maryland visual artists that they can go on. It's basically the easiest way to describe is it's Facebook without the ads or the algorithm. So you can
Nice.
go on and you can look up, oh, where's a good place to buy this? And who has a good call for artists right now? And there's co-creation sessions where we all get on Zoom together because being an artist is a very solo thing. And we can all get online and paint at the same time.
Well, you talked about the artist open studios and the studio tours and
Yeah.
getting the art out in front of people. And
Mhm.
I will say that most of the artists that I've met are really not the best at marketing themselves and running a business. I mean, you hear the trope about the starving artists and stuff like that. There's probably a reason why they're starving. It's just because that
Yep.
it's the marketing and getting out there. For those that appreciate art, where do you go for that? Okay, I mean, yeah, okay, there's studios and stuff like that, but I'm not dissing any of the studios. But I mean, we've got McBride Galleries down on Main Street. You've got
Oh,
the
yeah.
Maritime Museum down on Dock Street, and you've got the Annapolis Collection Gallery and Studio 57, I think it is, or whatever it is at Weston Calvert. And I mean, there's all these places that you can go and see and go, oh gosh, I like that. Maybe I'll buy that and everything else. It's rare that you're able, I mean, outside of that to be able to do that. And that's what this really does. This brings the art, well, it brings the people to the art, but it brings the sort of see how the sausage is made, I guess, when with coming
Absolutely.
into the studio. I could look at one of Jen Sterling's prints in a gallery and go, wow, I really like that and everything else. But it's a whole different experience when I'm sitting here looking at this nail wall, peg wall, where you're actually creating it. I mean, right behind you, you've got 4 pieces that are in process, I'm imagining
Yep.
at this point. And that's what Artist Open Studios in April is all about, right?
Absolutely. You want people to be able to come in and see how the magic happens. It's not just that finished piece that may or may not get into the gallery that you happen to walk into. They are, to a certain level, gatekeepers. So you're only seeing a certain percentage of what's available here in the state. You get into the studios, then you get to see work you may never have had access to otherwise. And you get to talk to the artist and understand what they meant behind the piece, how they created the piece, how long did it take them to do that piece. We have pieces that sometimes take us years to do because we go back and revisit it over and over until it's right. You'll never know that when you're standing in a gallery.
You just said something that really sort of piqued my curiosity. I mean, say if you're at a cocktail party at a friend's house or at a dinner party or just whatever it is, a holiday party, and you see a piece of art and you go, oh, wow, that's really fantastic.
Mhm.
Now there's a story to go behind that.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh yeah, pick it up at 123 Main Street. They got, I picked it up for $800 or $1,000 or whatever it is. Now I say, well, Jen made this. Okay, this is, it's a one of a kind, but it's, she worked on this. She didn't get it right for 6 months. So it took 6 months for her to come up with this. And this is what, this is kind of representing, maybe it's representing this, it's abstract, representing the State House. And this is the steeples of St. Mary's. Maybe they've got, whatever it may be. But you've got a story now that goes with it, and it really brings that art to everybody there that wants to listen to it, as opposed to just looking at a piece that's hanging on a wall.
Oh, yeah. And it's layered with their story on top of it of how they found you and how they interacted with you and why that particular piece resonated with them. Art is so personal, and to be able to have that thing that you can share that represents who you are, that you selected, that was made by somebody, and you were able to see that it was made for you, right? You just happened to come across them at the right time in the right place to get that piece. It's wonderful.
It truly is. I mean, I've got a favorite artist down in New Orleans named Matt Renard, who's abstract, sort of features a lot of animals, basically. And I've got 3 or 4 of his originals, but he will always call me up when it's done saying, okay, now how can I make this yours? Okay. So, I mean, he'll do like little doodles or something, or just modify something like my cat's in one of them.
Oh, cool.
My own, caricature of my own cat, which is really kind of a neat, and it really gives you a sense of ownership as opposed to possessionship. If that
Oh,
makes
yeah,
sense.
absolutely makes sense.
April 11th to 12th. I mean, you're bringing people into your studio as well as the other artists that are in the collective, as well as, and this is, you mentioned across the state. I mean, is this a statewide thing?
That's our big, hairy, audacious goal. So we started in Annapolis because I'm here, and this is where most of the artists I know are immediately located. So our first year, we were very Annapolis-centric and Anne Arundel-centric. then as the years went on, we've been able to expand into other areas. We now have artists as far east as Easton, and as far west as Gaithersburg. So we are slowly expanding and getting the word out that we exist. And I'm hoping within a couple of years that we are truly statewide. It must be Maryland and it must be visual arts. Otherwise, it's fair game.
Visual art is not performance art.
Correct.
Is that the best way to do it?
Correct. Yeah. So it's stuff you go look at. It's sculpture, it's painting, it's photography, it's jewelry, it's woodworking. There is weaving and fabric art. All of that is considered visual art.
It's funny you talked about fabric art. I know a woman that I met and I asked what she was. She says, "Oh, I'm a pattern designer." And I thought, "Oh, like for clothing or something like that." And she says, "No, actually the patterns that you probably see in every hotel that you walk in for the rugs,
yeah.
on the rugs." And that's all she does. I'm like, wow, who knew that there was a thing? But she
Yeah.
had graduated from one of the schools in New York with a degree in art. And, people are like, "Oh, art, you're going to be an artist? What are you going to be working at a museum?" But it's just so far reaching. And the beauty about art is that when we come in here into your studio, or whether we go into somebody else's studio or into a gallery or just even observing it around town, all of the things that divide us fall away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not black or white or gay or straight or man or female or Republican. It's not any of that. It's just observing something.
Mm-hmm.
And, making your own determination of whether it appeals to you, whether you like it or not. And it's really kind of neat to be able to sit there and look. And it's very powerful, art is.
Oh, it's all about how it makes you feel and what it can inspire in you. Absolutely.
And if it gets you angry, if it gets you mad, there's all sorts of emotions that go into certainly creating it as well as to be able to absorb it as well.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, so we're talking these open studios again, April 11th through 12th. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. Now, how does that work? The artist, you have a commercial studio here.
Mm-hmm.
Do all artists have a commercial place?
No, actually, a lot of artists work out of their homes, and so they will open their home studios and have people in. Sometimes they'll bring another artist in, so they have a buddy with them for the weekend. So there may be multiple artists in one location. In other cases, we have centralized pods for those who don't have a full studio or a space they can really open.
Okay.
And we help find them and partner them with either another artist or in one of the venues that's been sponsored so that they can be available to the public with their work.
That's really cool. So then the public will come in to a studio, and it could be a little room in a basement.
Yep.
Or it could be a big, huge space that we see here in Annapolis or anywhere in between.
Art's made everywhere.
And are the artists actually at that point creating, or are they just sort of there talking and showing?
A lot of them are creating. Not everybody is working at the same time, especially depending on their medium. If they're doing pottery, it may be hard for them to have their hands all muddy and still interact with people.
Hi, how are you? Shake hands with the mud dripping off.
Exactly. But a lot of them may also be doing demonstrations or having little exercises that people that come through, if they bring their families, for example, there may be something for the kids to do. Often they will have out snacks and drinks, and it's an open house. It's a come see this. I would love to share my love of art with you. Come see what I'm doing and ask me questions.
It's such a unique opportunity to be able to do that because, I'm sure I can go to your website. I can go to jensterling.com and order something.
Sure.
I can sit there and look and say, "Oh, I like this," and have not ever have met you, not really have ever seen how that sausage is made, how
it's
it
not
happens.
the same.
And while I may love the piece, but the opportunity to come in and see it, whether you buy anything or not, obviously we want everyone to buy it and support these artists because the world would suck without artists.
Yeah.
And I am the most unartistic person in the world. So, I can barely draw a straight line, but it really would. I just can't imagine a gray world without color, without depth, without the ability to sit there and bring this in here. So during this weekend, there will be, and again, artistopenstudio.com, there's going to be a map, a guide.
There'll be a directory as well as a map. At the moment, the directory is showing who has registered so far. I don't remember the last count of how many artists are
Right.
up there right now. But when we get a little closer to the event, generally about 3 weeks out, we start to publish the map, which will then have the dots and show you where in the state everybody falls. And you can start to plan out your path of who you want to see and what kind of art you want to go explore. And maybe you went to Annapolis last year, and this year you want to go to Rockville and go see all the artists there. So it's a great opportunity to see something different.
Sounds like a great road trip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great day. I mean, you can just grab some friends and jump in the car and go get a little bit, breakfast, get yourself all powered up, go visit a ton of artists, get some lunch, visit a ton of artists,
Don't
go
forget-
get some wine.
Don't forget the checkbook.
Don't forget the checkbook. Absolutely. Don't forget the checkbook.
And I mean, how many artists had participated last year? I know it's a fairly new event.
It is a fairly new event. We had about 70 artists last year. Yeah. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in Maryland, and you would never know it. We're going to fix that.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at your website, and you do have a board that is, helps you run. It's not just you,
Yeah.
but I mean, artists do come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and from different walks of life. I mean, I looked at your board, and I mean, you've got the marketing background and a sort of a marketing guru. I mean, there is a former military spouse or
Yep.
a military spouse. There's a convention manager,
Yeah.
a reformed attorney. I mean, so, art is within everybody,
Yeah.
and it's for everybody, and it can be for somebody. But, I look at some of the past professions or still current professions of the folks on your board, and I imagine it's probably very similar with many artists. These are kind of stressful things
Oh, yeah.
that art probably helps them out a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did art on the side in my previous career because it fed my soul, and it was a nice way to break that stress. And it became my full time. And I will never regret it. It is the best thing I've ever done. But I couldn't have made a living at it and been a single parent on it. I don't think it would have been feasible for me. So I had a job, and I just did the art for myself.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all. I encourage everyone to. People who think, like you said earlier, I can't draw a straight line. You don't have to,
Right, with art, it can
Get
be
a
crooked
journal
lines.
and doodle and make whatever you want. I mean, I don't think I can draw a straight line, but I paint abstracts, so I don't have to.
I don't need a color between the lines. That's the beauty.
Exactly. If
That's
you
the-
ask me to paint your house or your dog, we're in trouble. So
So, I mean, going into these studios, I mean, what can you walk me through your open studio?
Sure. So I clean the place, first of all. So you're coming into a working studio, but you don't want to walk in and walk through wet paint on the floor and have boxes stacked everywhere from
Right.
supplies coming in. So I do some cleaning, set out some, cupcakes or cookies and some waters and stuff. And then I open the doors.
Weed's legal in Maryland now.
Yeah, that's not a bad thought. That might increase visitation.
Pick a blunt, have a seat, and we'll be okay.
That would help. It makes the art look great. And so then the doors open and people come and go all day. And I have conversations with them about, this piece, like the first piece they ever bought, and where was it and how did it make them feel? And do they still have it? And, ooh, they like this one piece. It reminds them of something they saw on a trip. And, oh, this color is just so resonant with somebody. It's like that all day. And it's one thing after another. And I'll have people come through who want to be an artist, who are like, wow, how did you do this? Can I do this too? And it's so, God, it's so empowering for me to be able to have that conversation and watch somebody get excited, be it about a piece of art they want to buy or a piece of art they want to do. They walk out of here changed. And I often say to people, it's art because plain walls don't change lives, right? So if I can have an impact on somebody either through a piece of my art or through counseling them about how they can do it themselves, that's why I'm doing this. That feels so amazing to me. And this gives us that opportunity. You can't do that on my website. You can go to my website and it's pretty and you can see all the colors, but it's flat. There's no relationship there. There's no interaction there. You come in person and we're digging into a piece and we're talking about how it made you feel when you walked in the room. I tell people I go for that intake of breath. Someone will walk in, they'll look across the wall and their eyes stop on something and they go, That is the best feeling as an artist in the entire world.
Your
That
passion is
person.
amazing. I'm
Oh,
just sitting here watching you go through that just right there. I'm like, holy, she.
it's
I
the
mean,
best.
the passion is just incredible
Thank you.
that you exude. I mean, obviously,
It's
it
why so many people will do this and not get paid. Because we feed off of that.
we got to figure out how to change that.
We
We got to
do,
figure
we
out how to change
do.
that. But and I guess a misnomer. I mean, we talked about supporting the artists, which we need to support the arts and the artists
Mhm.
behind the arts. But art doesn't necessarily need to be that Starry Night Van Gogh.
Right.
That it does not need to be. And now I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure that you probably have commissions that are many thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And I am sure that you probably have many pieces available for sale that are not many thousands of
Correct.
dollars.
There's a
Um,
wide range.
so art does not necessarily need to be big, doesn't need to be flashy, it doesn't need to be expensive either.
That's right.
And I mean, I know that when I travel a lot, I'd like to get a little something from where I was.
Oh, cool. I do the same thing.
And
Yeah.
and it's just, it's like we were in China and there was some, just a little thing on rice paper that and it wasn't particularly moving to me, but it reminded me of the trip and everything else. And I cherish it. There's other pieces that I have that I've purchased because of the content of them. Is that the
Mhm.
right word to say?
Yep.
Or the topic or
The
what
theme,
what it
yeah.
looks like that it goes there. And there was a piece in my old house actually that I had I had my basement finished and they built the wall right around the change in the condenser
Mhm.
for the HVAC. So they had to cut a hole to get the condenser out in the wall. And rather than patch it and have to cut it again if it needed to be repaired, I went down when they used to have that picture store on Main Street a long time ago in Annapolis with the measurements. I said, I need something that's this wide by this tall, and I don't care what it is.
Right. Right.
This frame that needs to hide the hole in the wall.
It's great. Art can have a purpose. There's nothing wrong with that.
But that's the thing is that you can walk into a studio and you can find just a little tiny thing that sits on a 2x2 piece that sits on an easel on your nightstand that has as much of an impact on you and anybody that sees it as I'm looking at this other one that's probably 6-foot square
Oh, yeah.
yellow piece that's going to take up an entire wall. And you talked about color bringing in from what a gray world, and I look at all these houses that have been flipped, if you will,
Oh, in greige.
and
Ugh.
and they do the gray. Well, and I get why they do that.
Yep.
Okay, it's cheap, it's easy, it's cover up, and and it's pretty neutral.
Generic. Yeah.
It's pretty neutral. But I would say that with the right art, you can make that gray pop up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at these 3 pieces that are in progress behind you. 4 pieces now that I see them stacked there, and I don't know what they're becoming, but I'm sitting there thinking, wow, we've got 2 giant red panels, a large yellow one, and a brown one, and another goldenrod down there. That just alone, without whatever else you're going to be doing with it, if you're going to be doing anything else with it, would be
pop.
amazing on a gray wall.
Absolutely. It would pop. It would absolutely pop.
And
And it will energize you. You'll walk down, from the bedroom through the living room on your way to the kitchen in the morning for your coffee. And it's not the coffee that's going to give you the jolt for the day. It's the big, colorful, bold piece that you put up that reminded you that life is worth living every day. Live life in full color.
Absolutely. Except if you're colorblind, then that's a problem. But
You got to be a little different then. You go for shape and texture.
But so now so these other artists, I mean, they can be working, they can just be talking, they can be chatting, they can be presenting. It's sort of up to the artist to determine how they want to handle their open house.
Yes. Everyone gets to do what works best for them. And I would say in all cases, it's a lot easier for an artist to be able to present in their own space than to try and find a space that will accept their work, take their work, and generally it's only a couple pieces. You have nothing that you can put with it that really explains the body of work it came from. It's a lot harder to do that. So when someone comes to your space, you've got the whole story here that you can unravel for people.
So when you work with a gallery, I mean, you've mentioned a couple times that it's hard to get your space in. And so you as an artist, need to go to ABC Gallery and pitch them.
Yes.
This is why you need to carry, 3 of my pieces. This piece would look great in your front window. This
Right.
place would whatever, and you've got to sell them on that.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how the business works. So then you provide the piece, and they display it until it gets sold or returned to you.
Or return to me. Yep. And then they take half.
Okay, right there. I knew they
Yeah.
I knew they got a commission.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you're not selling it to them. I mean, everything that you put out into a gallery is pretty much for the most part. I imagine there might be
For
some
the most
exceptions.
part, it's on consignment. Yeah. There are some galleries that will buy something from you outright, but it's very rare. That model is not as prevalent as it used to be. Now, a gallery really is looking for pieces that will draw in buyers and collectors. They're generally building up a body of work that kind of has a theme or goes together. For example, one of the galleries on the tour this year is Zebra Gallery in Easton, and she picks artists that have a certain amount of whimsy and a certain amount of something unusual, something a little bit off the beaten path. Which is why she's named Zebra Gallery, having something that's a little different. It's not a horse, it's a zebra, right? It's striped, it's cool. So she's pulling together artists that fit together in a certain way to give the feeling that she wants in her gallery. And if the work sells, great. She continues to represent them and bring in more of their work. And if the work doesn't sell, she returns it to the artist and she finds somebody else. So you have to help market your work and continually create new work and make sure that you're supporting the galleries that are showing your work so that it sells and you can do more.
And they can take half your money.
And they can take half your money. Exactly. With the tour, you get 100%. It's coming to you. You're selling it directly. You're building the relationship. You can then turn around and follow up and market with all of those collectors and keep them in touch with what new pieces you're doing. Like you spoke earlier about the artist that does the animals.
Right.
And he'll reach out to you when he has a new piece. I can do the same thing. I'll send something out to my collectors and say, hey, I'm working on this new series. You get first shot because you're a past collector or a VIP on my list.
Right.
It's wonderful.
I didn't realize that it was that difficult to get into
It's so hard.
the galleries.
Yeah, it's so hard. There's a local gallery that does a lot of call for artists, and I applied to almost everything, and I got in maybe 1 out of 20 times over several years, and I finally stopped. Because even things that were specifically like good marketing places for me, bold colors, abstracts, things like that, I wasn't getting in. I just wasn't being selected. And it just means that whoever juried that particular show did not feel my piece was a good fit. Doesn't mean my work's not good or the gallery wouldn't like it, but that show wouldn't show it.
And it was that person's or that group of people's opinion.
Exactly. And it's hard because here I am. I mean, you can look in the back of the studio and there's 150, 200 pieces of art that are already created and in inventory. And I'm still creating because I can't stop myself.
Right.
It's got to get sold somewhere to help support my habit and my studio and my supplies and my chocolate. But I can't depend on galleries alone to do it. So an artist has to learn to be a business person. You can't just stay in your studio, put on your blinders and paint. You have to be able to support yourself. And I would say I probably only paint 20% of the time, if that. The rest of it is running the business.
Well, that's almost any business. The fun
Absolutely.
stuff, the boring stuff that you hate to do takes up most of
It does.
most of the time. The fun stuff,
Yeah.
not nearly as much.
And you don't learn it. Nobody teaches it really. So that's one of the other things the collective is trying to help artists with is how do you do your pricing and how do you keep an inventory and what kind of materials should you have for marketing?
Do you
that
know
kind
a
of
good
stuff.
accountant? Do you know
Exactly.
all of those tools that you don't want to deal with because you want to have a brush in your hand or a wad of clay on your wheel or
Yeah.
it's
You want to
something that
get in
you're-
flow. You want to create.
What area of Maryland has the best artists? I know you're going to be biased to Annapolis, I think.
Best area. I don't think I could peg that because even though I've been involved in the tour and in the collective and trying to reach out to artists and build up this database, I still don't know all of the artists. And there are some incredible ones I've been coming across. There's a sculptor out in Western Maryland who does these incredible big iron pieces. Never even knew she was there. And now I know she's there. And I need to find a way to get out there on another weekend because I can't go the weekend of the open house.
What's the largest piece you've done?
Oh, I did a piece for a commercial lobby in Virginia that was a huge banner piece, and it was 3 feet by 12 feet, 3 feet by 10, 3 by 8, 3 by 6, and 3 by 4. So it's
So
a
like a
big
step.
steps down
Yeah.
banners, and it hangs between 2 lobbies over a stairwell.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun, but I had to move all the furniture in here to fit it on the floor so I could paint the pieces because the banners, the art went from banner to banner, so that they had to line up when I was painting them.
Are there any unusual artists that you know that would be a must-see
Ooh.
on this tour? Of course, besides Jen's.
Well, yes, please come see me. There are a lot of really great artists. Let's see. There is an artist. I'm not sure if she's going to be able to participate this year. I think she might have a show conflict, but she's over in Severna Park, Millersville area. Mama Rain is her name. She does super, super cool paintings. She can be found at the Artscape Street Art Fair in Baltimore as well every summer. But her work is super cool. And her studio in her home, which is this old airplane hangar. I mean, it's the coolest place, and she's got really cool dogs. Anyway, it's a fun experience.
That's the important part.
It is the important part. If she gets on the tour, definitely make sure she's on your list. We have lots of painters who do some really incredible work. David Diaz, who is he's very well known in Annapolis, particularly, does plein air painting. And so his work is done outside, on scene, with oils, and he's amazing. I mean, he does these scenes from within Annapolis that are just incredible. So definitely getting to see him. And he's actually right up the street from my studio. So if you come to see me, he's literally a mile down the road.
There you go.
Yeah. So definitely see him. There was a fabric sculptor down in Eastport. I'm not sure if she's going to be on this year or not. We're still reaching out to past artists to try and find out who's coming back. But she did these incredible sculptures that it's hard to describe them, but they're very powerful women figures, and they're done in all of these multicolored fabrics. Her work is super. Actually, I have one up front I can show you because I have a piece from her. And this sculptor out west, I really want to get her on the tour, but we need to get more artists from the west, so there's a concentration there that will drive people to visit before I get
Sure, to get out to Hagerstown.
Yeah, it's hard.
Cumberland and everything else, because they're everywhere.
Oh, they are. And the further out you get, the more likely it is you've never seen their work. So those are the ones you want to get to. Those are the ones you want to go see, because my work, I'm here in Annapolis, and because I have a commercial studio, you can really come by anytime. I'd love for you to come on the tour when it's clean and looks cool and everything's out, but you can really come by anytime. Some of these artists, this is your only opportunity
to get out.
Yeah. So take it, go drive and see it. I mean, there's a woman over on the Eastern Shore who has the most amazing house and studio you've ever seen, Tara Moore. And her studio and gallery space was built custom for her. It is gorgeous, and her work is so cool. And she's got llamas. I mean, come on.
There you go. What more do you want?
So there's lots of
so we
things
got cool
to see.
we got cool dogs in Severna Park and llamas out on the Eastern Shore.
In Stevensville. Yes.
This is an amazing opportunity. What's the cost to do it?
It's free to attend. Doesn't cost you anything.
So there's no tickets to buy or anything like that?
Nope. You just go see whoever you want to see. There's no charge to you as a visitor. We charge artists a small fee so that we can use that money to then market the tour itself.
Sure.
Buy
certainly.
ads and send them signage and all that kind of stuff. But
well, as a nonprofit, do you accept donations?
Yes, please. Yes. Because the more you can help us, the more we can help artists.
I mean, as I sit there and think about it, that's that solo artist out in Cumberland that's doing fantastic work that has never really gotten the art exposed, may not have whatever it is to join and do that. So a contribution or something to Artist Open Studios could help offset that and be able to spread that out to other people.
Yes, it makes it possible for so much more to happen for them. We have no staff. It's all volunteer. The board, myself, everything that we spend is spent to get the artist's exposure. We're doing social media, we're doing print ads, we're doing interviews like this one. We're trying to get the word out as far as possible so that people who never knew that you as an artist existed will come visit your studio.
Well, I'll tell you, April 11th and 12th, that is a weekend that is before things really get crazy in Maryland with summer and everything else. I mean, it's now spring.
Yes, you want to be out and about.
You want to be out and about, especially after the snowstorm and the ice storm that we recently had. But it's a perfect opportunity to get out there before the schedules get too crowded and the vacations get planned and everything else. To take a long weekend. I mean, you can be out in Cumberland and you can be out in Hagerstown and Western Maryland, Frederick within, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
To explore some new places out there and some new artists out there. You can be on the Eastern Shore. You can be right here centric to Annapolis and Anne Arundel County and Baltimore. As I said, I mean, this tour shows that art is all around us. And as we look around, and for those that say that Annapolis isn't the biggest artsy town they've seen, I probably agree with that. There's probably artsier towns, but open your eyes and look around because it's everywhere. I mean, we become, especially people that live here, we become jaded about what our own hometown is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like to go out like on a watermark cruise or something like that because I learn something new and I see, I see Annapolis from the water is a totally different experience than coming over the Spa Creek Bridge, Compromise Bridge, and cursing that they're going too slow. And now that damn bridge is up. And, I mean, that's
we
the
take
attitude.
it all for granted.
We really do. And I think that we do that with art as well. I mean, I think if we open up and realize that art is indeed everywhere. When you're downtown Annapolis, stop in the galleries, stop and see what you've got. I know Gallery 57, which is at Weston Calvert-ish. I think it's called something else that goes back there. But they represent like 20 some odd different artists that are in there. And some are just painting little tiles.
Yep.
Others are painting bigger things. There's pottery. There's everything there as well. Look at the pottery studio on State Circle.
Yes.
That a lot of that is locally made here as well. That's not, I didn't call up Coriel or whoever the hell.
Right,
say,
and order it in mass.
I need 5 dishes to replace that because that's there. Come out to Jen's studio here on Renard Court sometime and check it out. Check out the website first and make sure that she's going to be here. But you want to go. You definitely want to go to jensterling.com. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay, good. Embrace the arts. I mean, it was back in October, we had the Annie Awards for Anne Arundel County, which was awarding different artists for different aspects of it. Art education, you've got performance art and everything else that jumps in there. We're lucky.
Yeah.
We are lucky to live in an area that has a great base for performance art, which this does not talk about, but we do have a great base for visual art. I will credit former Mayor Gavin Buckley. Okay, we never had a mural in town until he got pissed off at the Historic Preservation Commission and had Huntington Pundit paint the front of his building, and subsequently became mayor. But now you look around and you can't spit in Annapolis without seeing a mural somewhere.
I know. I love it. I just love it.
and it's there. There's some that, I mean, you can look at the top of level. You've got the one on the side of the Arundel Center, the giant one that Cindy and Commacel did.
Yeah.
You've got all the ones around town that Jeff has done. You've done the Pearl Bailey. You've got the one on which the one I really like is looks like pennies on the side of Metropolitan on just that one little.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one. I have to go look.
It looks like pennies to me, but it's a face, but it's on just a narrow strip, and it doesn't face the street. You face it if you see it on the sidewalk.
Okay.
There's just some great art that's around there. I mean, I noticed a couple of years ago, I was like, hey, this didn't happen. But down by the Fleet Reserve Club, there's a little half wall.
I just saw
that turned around and there's a mosaic on there.
Yeah, I love that. It came out and I was like, when did that happen?
And the big surprise was the Italian guy that showed up at the Annapolis Circle right there in front of the Western one time. It was just all of a sudden, I remember Josh McCarrow from the Capitol was like, where did this guy come from and what's his name? Because you've got that bronze sculpture that's in there. So it's just, it's around. Look at it, embrace it.
Yeah.
And see what it does to move you. Because I guarantee you that it will move you in some way. And April 11th and 12th is a great time to get moved and get moving. And I would recommend everybody go to artistopenstudios.com. And there is a big link on the front page for tour, which is not really updated just yet because I know you're getting your artist all situated and everything else. Check that out. And if you are in the mood for big, bold, beautiful, and abstract, you now know where to come. You want to come to Renard Court and see Jen Sterling, who is big, bold, and abstract.
Yes.
Both in her art and her person. Okay.
There you go.
No surprise there.
It's a brand. What can I say?
There you go. But, thank you for having the foresight to put this type of exposure together for the artists, but also for the public to be able to get out there and see, as I said, how the sausage is made. The sausage you don't really want to see it, but the art you really do.
Yes.
And a lot more goes into it than you realize. I mean, when you have something, you've got the finished product and okay. If you sat here and now told me that took you 510 hours to make, now it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
It really is. But Jen, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for putting this together. Everybody, artistopenstudios.com. And make sure you mark that off on your calendar, April 11th and 12th, because that's when you're going studio hopping.
Can't wait to see you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.